In today's video, I am going to show you how you can make a thread catcher for your sewing machine. It is super simple, and a charm pack will work great if you don't have a charm pack. 5-inch squares, a little bit of stabilizer, as well as a salvage strip for the top edge. This is a very simple project. You can use leftover charm pack squares if you have, or cut your own. If you're new here, I'm Becky from Patchwork Posse, and I have an online quilt group, Patchworkers Plus. You can check the link below for more information on how you can sew with me all year long. Now, let's grab our materials and get started. I do have to say this is a very, very simple project to make, great for any level of sewer. So let's take a look at the basket before we get started. This is what it looks like. I'm going to show you how you can make the boxed bottom really easily. I know it's a square at the bottom and there's some tricky sewing, but really it's not that bad. And you really can do this no matter what level of quilter or sewer you are. So the outside has simple 4 sides and with a bottom. The inside is identical, 4 sides with a bottom. And then what I did was used a selvage for the top binding. This is very forgiving. The inside, I used a pinking shear on the one edge. So to keep it from unraveling or fraying. There is a raw edge where it overlaps. I find these kind of fun and simple. Now, if you want a more, finished look, you could by all means use a regular binding method for this, but this is very, very quick and simple. So let's look at the materials that you are going to need. All right, I have my selvage, and I did a pinking shear on one side. Now, this piece is a little wider than I normally cut my selvages, but I find that it is just a little bit easier to deal with when it is wider. It's just over an inch, not including that little, the fray edge. So I have it cut. I also have it folded over and pressed because we are going to stitch on the outside, and I want to make sure that it catches the inside as well, so we don't have to go around it multiple times, but you can, again, if you want a more finished look. All right, you are going to need 5 pieces of fabric for the outside, and then you're going to need 5 for the inside. I just used charm packs. I laid it out so I knew what order I was going to sew them in. So I kind of laid them out, made sure that not 2 fabrics or fabrics that were close to each other were side by side. So just be aware that these are going to be sewn together. And so on my example here, I alternated the colors. And then I've got a cute fun print for the bottom. What you're going to then do is cut your interfacing or your stabilizer. So I have just cut them into squares, 5-inch by 5-inch. If you are using a thicker stabilizer, then you might want to cut these down to 4 3/4 so they're not as large as your 5-inch square, and they don't get caught in the seams. My stabilizer wasn't too thick, so I was just fine with cutting it the same size as my 5-inch piece. So what we're going to do is place the stabilizer down, and then I've got my bottom piece of fabric, right sides up. I'm going to choose one side, and I'm going to do right sides facing, and then my last stabilizer piece right on top. So I've got this sandwich, and I'm going to take this to the machine, and I'm going to stitch starting a 1/4 inch from that corner. Now this will give you nice square corners. They turn out so nice. But the trick is you cannot sew edge to edge. You need to stop a 1/4 inch from each corner. Now, if you need to take a ruler and mark this with a little dot, go right ahead and do that. That is totally fine. So we're just going to line up our edges and stitch right across that top. Again, not going from edge to edge. We're going to stop a 1/4 inch from each corner. All right, here we go. Let's take a look at this. Got some black marks on my thumb. Sorry about that. All right, so if you can see this, I stopped and started. So you do want to do a back stitch right there, a 1/4 inch from the corner. Now, what I found was the easiest is to take the bottom piece and push my side piece up. So my seam is going up, and I'm just going to finger press it. I'm going to turn it. Next piece is this, the top square. I'm going to line this up. So I'm going to line up this corner right here. Then I'm going to grab my interfacing again, or my stabilizer, and stick that right on top. And again, you can see this seam right here. That is where I'm going to start. I'm going to do a back stitch right there, stitch all the way along, and again stop a 1/4 inch from that corner. And I'm stitching a 1/4 inch seam as well. So I'm going to push that side out. I'm going to lay my next piece right sides facing down. I'm going to line up those corners. I'm going to again do a stop, a back stitch a 1/4 inch from that corner, and then go a 1/4 inch from that corner. I'm going to finger press that out. And I have my last piece. Now, if any of your fabric is directional, you'll want to check it, because this is how it's going to stand. And so if you have words or anything else like that, I'm going to place it how it would be and then do right sides together. Now for this last piece, there is no corner that you can line it up to. So each of these corners are going to go past a 1/4 inch from those seams. And we're just going to lay this down and put our last piece of stabilizer down. We're going to take it to the machine and start again from the 1/4 inch from each edge. All right, we're going to push this right out. The next thing we're going to do is our sides. And so if your stabilizer is fusible, then I would highly recommend you fuse it. This one is not, so it's just fine, but if you fused it, it would stay a little bit easier. What we're going to do is grab two sides and we are going to push them together. Now, you're going to have to kind of play with this corner here until those sides line up and it lays nice and flat. I stitch from this open corner to the sewn corner, but you can do whatever you'd like, wherever you want to start. But again, you're going to see where that seam is, and you're going to stop right there and do a stop and a back stitch. So I'm going to stop right there and do a back stitch at that seam intersection. Here we go. Let's take a look. So I've got the seam coming down, and then I've got my seam coming across, and they just meet there right at the corner. I just continue to do this. I'm going to take my two edges, right sides together. I'm going to make sure that the corner here is lined up, the side edge is lined up, and that this corner over here lays nice and flat. I'm going to take it over to the machine and stitch it right from this corner all the way to where that stitching is, and I'm going to do a back stitch both at the top and again at the corner. All right, this is all done. Now what I'm going to do is pop this so it's right sides out. Push the corners out carefully, but look, everything should lay nice and flat. The corners should be nice and pointed. Grab it with my thumb. If you get the stitches really close, there shouldn't be a hole or anything like that either. So I'm going to put my hand in here. I'm just going to pull on these seams, flatten them out. All right, now we are going to repeat the process for the inside lining. I've got this one started. Again, it is the same process. You start sewing your sides to the bottom piece, and then you're going to work around and sew the sides together. Without the interfacing, it's a little bit easier to line up, or the stabilizer, but you're going to take that to the machine. Again, just following the same rules, stopping right at that corner where that seam ends at 1/4 inch. Again, for any of those steps, if you need to use pins to secure or keep the sides together, use pins. If you need to mark those 1/4 inch spots, mark it. It's just fine. So what we're going to do is just drop our lining right inside the outside piece. We are going to line up our corners, and we're going to just make sure that our seams are going opposite directions. So we're going to nest those seams, and we are going to pin it. We're going to repeat that all the way around for all 4 corners of this bag. This is kind of an extra step, but it is going to make putting that binding on a lot easier, because this top edge will already be secured and you don't have to fiddle with this plus your binding. So what we're going to do is take this over to the machine. We're going to just zip around a 1/4 inch all the way around that whole top. All right, I've got the top edge sewn down. And that just, stabilizes everything, and now we can add our cute little binding edge. I put this, the fray part on the outside, but, feel free to put the pinking shears if you want on the outside, or whatever. It doesn't matter either way. I'm going to just line this up so the top edge of that bag goes right into the crease of that binding. If you need to, go right ahead and pin or use clips. But you're just going to work all the way around and pin or clip these in place. You're going to take this over to the machine next, and you're just going to stitch down. So you need to make sure that when you stitch on the front, it's going to catch that back side. So I kind of go a 1/4 inch in, and that should be just fine. I also stitch from this top edge. So it is a little bit tricky when you're getting it to the machine. You do have a little bit of bulk popping up, but I do stitch from the outside just so I can see my line and make sure that that looks nice, because the inside line doesn't necessarily matter. When you get to the end, it's fine to overlap it. I did not fold this under and make a nice edge. If you want to, that would be fine. I kind of checked the distance and I overlapped it, I think about an inch. Again, we're just going to put it on top. We're going to make sure the top edge is right in that crease and then pin it down. And we're just going to continue to stitch just past that and do a little back and forth stitches right there to make sure this doesn't pull up. All right, we are finished. Oh my gosh, look how cute this is. If you want, double check the inside to make sure that you did in fact stitch that kind of binding edge down. If it's a little close or you're not happy with it, don't worry about it. Just go back and stitch another line where you need to. You don't want that to pull up. And so there you go. That's what it looks like when it is finished. These are great for taking on retreats, packing away, whatever. They would totally fold up flat. If you wanted to, you could add a little hanging loop to hang on the side of your table, or just tape it to the side of the table as well. That would work as well. But there you go. That's how you make those super cute thread catchers for the side of your sewing table. Don't forget to check the description to learn more about my membership, as well as the full blog post where I would have a printable PDF version as well.